I can always go one level higher, which dissolves the anxiety and the terror of the lower levels. Look how beautiful this is. It means that no matter what happens to you as you climb up the mountain with its different levels, it makes no difference what happens. If you're on the mountain that has 10,000 steps and you're on the 1,000th, say, and you've made a little progress and you finally get up to the 1,000th one, and to your great astonishment, an event comes along, a shock, a jolt comes along. Here you are on 1,000, and you've made definite progress. You know you're on the right mountain, climbing the right place. All of a sudden, one day, you start shaking. And you say, what's this? I thought that I was above that. I thought that I had cured that nervousness or that confusion or that hostility or that bewilderment. I thought I was above that. Look, I've gone up 1,000 steps. You don't know there's 1,000,000 more up there. Now look, the very fact that you have climbed up the 1,000 steps is beginning to get a certain permanence, stability of doing the right thing with a shock, a problem. So that when this extraordinary shaking, trembling comes to you and confusion, your spiritual memory has been developed to the point where you always know what to do. It's always going to happen for a long, long time. But you know what to do. That becomes your rock, your Gibraltar. That becomes your refuge. That becomes your wisdom in doing the right thing. And guess what the right thing to do is every time you run into something you can't handle. You see clearly, and I can phrase it in different ways, and I will. You clearly see how you passed above a previous crisis. You understand, for one thing, that you of yourself did nothing. Because you understood way back when you started climbing the mountain in the first 4 or 5 levels, you understood that every time you tried to handle it, it made it worse, right? Every time you get your little intellect working, you said, I'm going to choose this course or that course, and then you change your mind about that, then you get a 10th course and a 15th one. And the end of the week, you're pretty exhausted, weren't you? And the problem remains simply because you, as the problem creator, remained. Nothing changed. You just ran all around the jungle in different places, fell into the swamp, bumped into the rocks, and you came right back where you were before, right? So one thing you understand, there's no point trying to solve your problem. You are it. How can you solve you? This knowledge in itself doesn't come overnight, does it? Because we're so reluctant to give up our egotistical trumpets in which we say, here I come, ready to conquer the world. You know, conquer the world, you haven't even conquered yourself. Then, when you understand that you can't do it of yourself, this is good logic, isn't it? This is spiritual logic. There's nothing you can do about you. Never have been able to do it. Then the next thought occurs to you. And this is, spiritual literature speaks of relief, of comfort, of being directed correctly and all that. Then it comes to you. And here's what it is. Your attitude of relaxation from the I, the self trying to do anything about it, that automatically becomes a request to the spiritual guide on the mountain, spiritual truth, who helps climbers come up. Your very willingness to not try to solve the problem yourself is an invitation to the guide, the spiritual guide, truth, to come down and help you climb up the next stretch of mountain to the next level. This means that you don't have to do anything but know that you can't solve the problem, and especially, to keep the illustration alive a little bit, especially see that you don't know how to climb above the crisis. That is, go from this level to the next level. You don't even know how to do that. So what you do is wait on the level where the crisis is, and don't go into imagination of saying you're climbing above it, or you'll become the religious hypocrite who says I'm good now because of spiritual things. But you stay right where you are with the problem. And truth, looking down, sees your authentic humility, sees that you are beginning to give up your egotistical beliefs in thinking you can do anything. Truth sees that and sends down the particular angel, particular guide, down to you. You can't climb. You must stay where you are. By staying where you are, that is, go ahead and cry all you want. Go ahead and shake all you want. Go ahead and get mad. It's the only thing you can do. You think there's an alternative. There's no alternative but being what you are. You always are what you are. Only imagination gives the illusion that you're good when you're bad. See? And you've even sacrificed your imagination that you're good, strong, intelligent, and so on. You've sacrificed that by simply staying with your sickness. That is an invitation to the Spirit of Truth to come down and carry you up to the next level. And here is what it means to let truth solve your problems for you. You wait there, and I tell you right now that what I'm going to describe to you will become a living, real experience to you. If you do what you have to do. If you stay with the difficulty and not try to do anything about it. You stay there, and you have knowledge already, spiritual knowledge, that there is something higher than you. You begin to suspect it way down, but now it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. All of a sudden, that great crisis, which was you, disappears. You suddenly, of yourself, find yourself on the higher level, and at that point, you can look down, and here's what you'll do every time. You were on the lower level, truth lifted you up above that particular level with its problem, and you look down and see where you used to be, and you nod your head and smile. You understand everything now that you couldn't understand when you were down there. How could you understand it when you were it? There's no one to understand it. There's just the confusion and the suffering from it. Every time you repeat this process, you change your inner nature, you go higher, you get closer to reality, you begin to leave behind all the things that used to bother you down there. You know what I mean when I say petty little nagging problems? Petty little things in which you snipe at someone else. You know what I'm talking about? You do, don't you? They will fall away. They have to fall away. All the junk that's piled on the lower levels of the mountain where you used to live. As you rise above the junk that's down there, by letting truth lift you up to each new level, how could you be bothered by any of the junk? And the higher you go, the purer the mountainside becomes. What's natural is there, the trees and the greenery, and the little streams, all these little things come all by themselves. This leaves us then with your desire to experiment in true independence. Independence from what? Independence from what you have called you and your wisdom and your strength. See, you use the word freedom. You choose to be free of all your efforts to rescue yourself, seeing the futility of it. You refuse to ever again lift a finger to help yourself as an experiment to see what happens as a result of that. And I'll tell you, for a long, long time on those hundreds of lower levels. Now listen to what I'm saying. So this knowledge I'm giving you will help you when it happens. You'll be scared that nothing is going to happen. Stay there anyway. Don't yield to the temptation to try to climb of yourself. You'll fall down and you'll get bruised and you'll get hurt. There's no way you can ever solve your problems with other people. The only problem you have with yourself, solve it with yourself. And where's the problem with the other person? You let them go. You let the whole world go. The whole world was you and your negative nature, and at last you see it. What a daily, hourly, beautiful experience to understand that you are being lifted because you yielded to truth. You can actually feel yourself changing inwardly. And the rest of your life is spent going higher and higher and higher. When your light begins to get stronger and stronger, that light itself is what cuts off the contact. Darkness wants nothing to do with light. Look, if you're in the bonfire in the middle of the jungle, there that fire is blazing up and you're by it, all those animals surrounding it out in the jungle there, they come up closer and closer and closer. There will be a point it is impossible for them to go beyond because they hate that light. They'll stay back there, but they'll stay back there at a distance like your relatives do. Stay back there and snarl and hate. They can't touch you. There's no way an animal who is darkness, a human animal, can come into the dark and get you if you are staying right within that light. I tell you, it is 100% pure spiritual magic. It works every time. There is absolutely no failure. You either have a life of your own or you don't. The fact is that you don't. Because to have a life of your own means that you're not living with the foreign invader, with the imposter who lives its life through you and wrecks it. Take mental torment alone. Look at how you're pulled around inside yourself. Look at how you have to look at other people for an answer. Look how you insist upon a life of belief. And you don't see it. Look how excited you get when you see something or someone that you think is stronger than you. All your life. Do you remember how it was when you were younger? You looked up at that high school teacher or that relative, and they talked loud, and that's all they had was a loud voice and a seemingly superior manner. And they seemed so confident. Please, you're out of high school now. And you've carried that habit from grammar school even, all the way on down. You've carried the habit up into your adult life and you don't know it is still operating and directing your life. And the reason you have that is because you have no strength of your own. You don't have a life of your own. Now, I will tell you that you can, if you will do certain things, have life of your own. That is, see, you don't know what that means. That's the problem now. You don't know what it means to have life of your own. How do you know it when you've never had it? How do you know what Holland is like if you've never been to Holland?